Hi everybody! Today we're going to be learning about how to properly use a comma with a conjunction. To remember what conjunctions are, just remember fanboys. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Here are some examples. My room is a mess, for I have been busy for the past 2 weeks. For breakfast I ate waffles, and then I had milk. I do not eat carrots, nor do I eat cucumbers. The girl likes to go shopping, but does not like trying on clothes. We can study outside, or we can study at the library. He turned into a giant bug, yet his sister still took care of him. Mary jogs every morning, so she looks healthy. Each sentence uses a comma and a conjunction, but before we start talking about commas and conjunctions, let's do a little review on independent clauses and dependent clauses. As we may have learned before, independent clauses express a complete thought and can stand alone as a sentence. For instance, I like reading. I especially like the book Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Notice how both of those sentences are really short? Well, we can use conjunctions to combine short sentences that share a common idea using conjunctions like and. For instance, I like reading, and I especially like the book Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Now let's talk about what a dependent clause is. A dependent clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb, but would sound like a bunch of nonsense as a sentence on its own. For instance, because we like to read books with cartoons. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a complete sentence. So because a dependent clause doesn't work well as a standalone sentence, we can connect it to an independent clause using a conjunction. For instance, I like the book Diary of a Wimpy Kid, for I like to read books with cartoons. In this example, for is the conjunction, and notice that a comma comes before the word for. Notice that in all of these examples, two different ideas are always connected using a comma and a conjunction, and that the comma always comes before the conjunction. Now that we've gone over how commas and conjunctions are used to connect clauses, let's take a look at how they're used in Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Have you read the book Diary of a Wimpy Kid? Raise your hand if you have. So here's an excerpt from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. There are a few examples here that show the comma before the conjunction. Try to follow with your eyes while I read. Well, Rowley's grounding is finally over, and just in time for Halloween, too. Underlined is the independent clause, while the comma and conjunction are shown in red, followed by a dependent clause. The conjunction here is and. We want to use a comma before the word and to combine the two clauses together. I went up to his house to check on his costume, and I have to admit, it looks better than mine, so I'm a little jealous. Here we have three independent clauses. The conjunctions and so are in between each clause to combine them all together. Rowley's mom got him this night costume that's way cooler than his costume from last year, for his night outfit came with a helmet and a shield and a real sword and everything. Here we have a different conjunction, for, and it uses a comma before it to separate the two independent clauses. Now for the next few examples, let's do them together. I'm going to read them through, and you say comma wherever you think you need a comma before a conjunction. I've never had a store-bought costume before. I still haven't figured out what I'm going to go as tomorrow night.
Comma!
So I'll probably just throw something together at the last minute. I figure maybe I'll bring back the toilet paper mummy again.
Comma!
But I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow night.
Comma!
So that might not be the smartest choice. Now, how do you feel about trying it on your own? On the paper in front of you is a journal entry from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Your goal is to find the conjunctions and add commas where you think two sentences can be combined. Now I'm going to read through it and let's check our answers and see what you came up with. It was about an hour before we were supposed to start trick-or-treating, and I still didn't have a costume. At that point, I was seriously thinking about going as a cowboy for the second year in a row, but then Mom knocked at my door and handed me a pirate costume, and it had an eye patch and a hook and everything. Rowley showed up around 6:30 wearing his night costume, but it didn't look anything like it looked yesterday. Rowley's mom made all these safety improvements on it, so you couldn't even tell what he was supposed to be anymore. Good job! Now that we've gone over the different conjunctions, where the commas go, and how to use it all, tonight for homework I'd like everyone to read a recent writing assignment out loud. Look for where you've already used conjunctions, and double check that the comma comes first. Are there places where you could combine sentences? Tomorrow, bring in the assignment you looked at, and you can share where you used a comma and a conjunction, as well as where you added new ones.